You see a little wheelie from Jorge Martin, but Pecco Bagnaia got away worse than him, and it's Martin who gets the whole shot. It's Fabio Quartararo to him at the moment as riders file past him all the way through to elbow. But another moment for Martin on this opening lap.
Yeah, Martin started to lean the opposite way, trying to block off, and he was wide there. Martin on the...
He'll get the slingshot though down that straight, but already Bagnaia was past him, elbow to elbow, between the title rival, then chopping it out. Like a big look at his pitfall, wasn't it, when he came to the line, and Quartararo comes back at him, fancies a piece of silverware today. Third sector on track there.
Incredible. I mean, it's what we've seen Martin do it.
But Pedro Acosta will not know when he's beaten, and on the inside there.
It's the reality on a GP bike. If you miss your brake marker by 5 metres, all of a sudden you're going way too fast at the corner, and that's what happens. He's on his bike. I think I might have seen a bit of fluorescent.
Yeah, Bezzecchi. It's Marco Bezzecchi who won the him as Bagnaia just hangs on there in second place. Not disaster. 0.8 of a second between Martin and Bagnaia through turn 11.
Just got mired in mid-pack, and now looks like he's...
Could skittle his future teammates out of the title. Bagnaia has just struggled on a little bit this weekend. He's been the best in the first place out the front. He is the one who is the scout for the conditions, but he is going superbly here. Remember how fast he went off. Quartararo's going to go wide at turn 3.
Really wide. So what do? You try harder, you push a little bit harder, and
he knows that now his chance of extending the lead.
So you can imagine it just goes on for ages, and what happens is
lap, I'm probably going to guess.
You just can't do that from so far.
He's taken half a second out of him on the last lap. I think he's just felt his way into this race as Pecco Bagnaia. Tell you what, over the years, than Bagnaia. Now, I'm not sure, on this lap he seems to have
his eyes, and he opened the curtains and he saw the rain. Bagnaia will have thought, oh yes.
Like he just was not going to have the pace. We didn't know, actually, with the half kick. So I think Miller's had a couple of moments on this lap, but Morbidelli will now...
He's nowhere in the championship, he won't mind me saying that, just the reality.
Well, a change in the leader. Pecco Bagnaia now out front from Marc Marquez in second place. Jorge Martin may have found his limit out of the race. He was down outside the points in 16th. The Hondas haven't come...
These are the races where you win a world championship by
the white line on the outside of between turns A track. It feels like that, doesn't it, anyway?
Yeah. Session here and there, but we haven't had much, have we, if you think about it?
No. Whether that in the dry, basically, he performs in both conditions.
Yeah.
Bagnaia leading down in towards turn 3. Now he has the job of leading the... But on that previous lap, he was 2 seconds slower with that mistake.
Yeah.
But as Miller in 4th, now past Binder after his mistake.
Almost Zen-like personality, but he has these moment
lap penalties, taken out Quartararo, and his race is run.
Teammate after that mistake, and certainly looking comfortable.
Left-handers. Where Marquez... Oh, that was Ralph Fernandez's crash, bottom left of your screen. That's the dab warm-up this morning. He's languishing down in. He has to be oh so careful. It feels like covers so well, doesn't he, there? He hasn't actually, because he lost rider there was on the last lap. Jorge Martin with a new
go. Don't panic, you've had one go at it. That usually will mean you're not going to quite make the apex, and that's what happened.
Right, that was Quartararo or Dovi on Marc Marquez.
Yeah, that was...
At the front, Marc Marquez, you can see his right on Bagnaia's...
Nice, skating around, holding your breath, hoping not to crash. Heightened, it's like the absolute maximum concentration. You look at your pit board, you've been focusing on the gap, who's behind you. You don't look at...
Coming through. Action out front. But, you know, you just have to keep...
Marquez made a mistake there. Fishtailing a lot. I feel like at this point in the race, he's risking a little bit.
Fastest lap of the race from the world champion, standing up to be counted.
Breaks into there, gains sort of. That's why. That's why. I'm like, he's closing in. But then lost
needs to keep his head. I'll tell you what,
really wide.
Yeah, and Pecco Bagnaia will cut through. It's going to get close.
If you lose the front whilst you're trying to make the pass, you'll take the rider.
He's getting so close. He's trying to go for the last corner.
He's going to go for the last corner, but he's never safe. That up there nicely.
He's closing in at a rapid points instead of 0.
Pecco Bagnaia. Bagnaia's going to look at his pit board, and if he sees a big gap really wide, it's like the balance is off with his bike.
Cold out there either, is it? be testing every single aspect of these motor
Games, it's not over. There's still 12 laps to go. I think 6 seconds. Mark was always going to try and...
But you just knew how much pace he was carrying. He hung on to it for ages. Pretty much.
You do feel that, don't you? You just look at the rider and then it makes you jump, believe it or not. It's
was it on the white line?
No, it wasn't. He showed from the on
0.8 seconds the gap. He's opening up the gap on this one. Oh, hey, Martin.
He's a tenth of a second quicker, which is not a lot. This next lap's so... The shark. Hey, Mark has managed classic turn 3.
And now the Honda in this Honda battle looks fun back here. Not for the riders, perhaps. Only Gian Antonio.
How random from absolutely nowhere. Fabio didn't want a wet race. At that point, it didn't snap sideways. You could see that it was totally under control.
Correct. Of course he is. Down in 16th, eating up ATM trio.
Tell you what's happening here. Martin's
done. 295 played 281 before this his win. Winning 9 in a Premier Class season is, you know...
He's lost 0.3 of a second just in that split.
A second to add to his collection today.
Digi's so fast.
Doing battle. And there is Marc Marquez. Close.
The gap's coming down at the front.
You just feel like...
I'm going to probably say yes.
At the front of this race, we're looking at a battle for 15th here, with Marc Marquez a second quicker than the leader again.
Yep.
Here comes Marc Marquez on himself to being strong in these conditions.
You mean the fact that he lises up?
He's approaching at speed, and so he in turn is right on the rear. Yeah, he's got feel for it, hasn't he? Searching for a few puddles here and there just to make sure these tyres stay in check.
Seconds. Bagnaia pulled out half a second on that lap. Antonio.
He got the sense of the... Oh, and he's going to sit Binder up there on the out. They both corner.
So is Pedro, always turns in
on that previous lap, so just needs to be wary if you... This race for the trophies is done. We'll see, Marc Marquez. A late move.
I think that's fair.
Marc Marquez being told to drop a position for that move. It might be someone else's.
No.
Always coming through the order. Mir made comments into the final corner. Oh, constant, because Jack Miller was 4/10 quicker on that previous lap. This championship out of my hands.
Which is what we expected with, like I said, with
champions stand up to be counted at the right moment, don't they? Dejection, I'm sure, for the Aussie. And truly alive as he takes victory across the line here in Thailand. Jorge Martin delighted with second. Pedro Acosta completes the podium in third.